Welcome to the LifeWorks Lives We Love podcast, an inspiring conversation with members of the LifeWorks community. We'll hear from a variety of fearless advocates for youth pursuing lives they love. Now, here's your host, LifeWorks CEO, Susan McDowell.
Welcome to Lives We Love, the podcast about the people of LifeWorks. I'm very excited today because today we have Lisa Richardson, who is on the board of LifeWorks and is our Vice Chair, Chair-elect, which means you will lead the board next year. Lisa has been on the board for several years and is incredibly active in the community. A few years ago, you retired as the CIO of the Texas Workforce Commission. In addition to serving on the board of LifeWorks, you serve on the board of Zach Scott Theater. You and your wife, Lisa, who, by the way, yes, they are known as the Lisas. You and Lisa are very involved with UT Athletics and especially the Lady Longhorns basketball team. And I want to talk about that a little during our discussion, if you can. Bachelor's, and I didn't know this about you. You graduated from University of Oklahoma.
Yes.
Your master's degree is UT, but you are through and through the most all-in Longhorn I have met. So that had to be an interesting journey as well.
Absolutely. That has been.
Well, welcome.
Thank you
Today.
Thank you for having me.
I am going to start with a question that I ask everybody, and that is, what are you doing in life right now that brings you joy?
Oh, that's so easy right now. We have a daughter, Shelby, and she just turned 30 this year, and her boyfriend, now fiance, proposed last year. So we are in the midst of wedding planning. So we have a wedding planned. We're a year out, so it's going to be next May. But it's just so exciting every single week, having these conversations with her about, the photographer, the venue, and we're looking at the planner right now. So that's where we are. And it's just super exciting. And it's just a joy.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
The ages and stages of life and parenting.
Absolutely.
This is where you get to be right now with her.
And we love Wesley. I mean, her fiance, he's just a really wonderful young man. So we're excited for them.
And expanding the family.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So let's talk about philanthropy. So I should say this is actually a very special week because yesterday you and Lisa were honored as Philanthropists of the Year by the Association of Fundraising Professionals in a very large, interesting ceremony down at the Paramount by AFP. So this has to be a time of reflection for you both about your philanthropy. And so I'm interested in how what drew you to being engaged in the community, because philanthropy is so much more than just giving money. Philanthropy is about engaging in the community, about what you care about and what you think you can kind of change or improve or influence in the community. So it's about where you spend your time, where you devote your expertise, and also where you give the resources that you have to give. So I'm very interested in your philanthropic origin story. How did you first engage with the community?
So that's, especially with Austin, I would say it started really through work and with church. Through work, we always have giving opportunities, and so that was one opportunity that we took every year because we were able to. But that's more just giving of the money. And then through church, doing a little bit more, giving back time and volunteering in different capacities. But really, it's as Lisa and I got a little bit older, and we had we had more time and more means to be able to give back a little bit more. We love our community. We just love Austin. And so we found a lot of different areas that were our passions. And so those are things that we want to spend our time, money, and effort on to try to help make this city a better place for everybody. And I think being philanthropic, again, it's not just money. It's truly about finding something that touches your heart and being able to do whatever you can at whatever stage you are in your life. And I think we can all do that.
I love though that it's part of your marriage, it's part of your family
Absolutely.
life, and part of your partnership.
Absolutely.
That's-
We have a pyramid that we developed for us about the types of organizations that we are interested in supporting. And so that helps us to kind of
Oh, I love
narrow
that.
our focus on where we want to give
You
primarily.
are more organized in your marriage than I am about that. We're more like, oh, I think I really want to. Hey, do you think we can? And it ends up working out. But I love the strategy.
Well,
I
you've
love
met
the
my
partnership.
wife, so
I have. She is
yeah.
actually all about the structure.
She is a spreadsheet queen. So give her a spreadsheet, and yeah, she's gonna organize.
Well, good.
Organize your life.
It means you'll be effective.
Absolutely.
So
That's what we hope.
that is the hope. So tell us about your engagement with LifeWorks. Why did you choose LifeWorks, and what has that journey been like?
So that's been interesting. When I was working at the Texas Workforce Commission, I was involved in an organization, and when we put on conferences throughout the state, we would always identify local nonprofits that we would support. One of our conferences here in town, we supported Community First,
Right.
and we actually raised
Great
funds.
partner, yes.
Great partner, and we raised funds to help build one of their tiny homes. And also did volunteer work for them, and so that really opened my eyes to the homelessness situation that we had in Austin. And then a dear friend of mine, Sarah Kennedy, who was then the chair of LifeWorks, invited me to one of the luncheons.
Dear friend of
And
many, yes,
dear friend of many.
myself included.
She's amazing, and so she invited me to a luncheon, and it's just like so powerful that yes, I had this what I thought was a little bit of an understanding of what's happening
Yeah.
in the homelessness realm, but I had no idea about how this is impacting so many younger individuals in our community, and so that was it for me. And so I started doing volunteer work, and then I was asked to join the board. And
Well, I remember that first conversation we had
Yeah.
over at our East location.
Oh yes,
and,
oh absolutely,
it was
yeah. And
really.
So I'm in. I'm all
Yeah,
in.
yeah. I called Sarah after that. I'm like, oh, thank you. I think this is. I
Yes.
think we've got a really good connection.
It was a good match. Very
Yeah.
good match.
And so you've been on the board several years, and as part of that, you've been involved in many ways, which again is kind of unique for a for a donor, even a board member. You've been on fundraising committees, you've been on the finance committee, now you're on the executive committee and chair-elect. So it's been you're on the Affordable Housing Corporation board.
Yes, I am.
So you've got a real grounding and really the base and multiple aspects of the organization. So-
Absolutely. And the amazing thing about LifeWorks is that I'm still learning things all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a deep organization. With all the programs that we have, there's a lot to learn, and that's what I find really fun and interesting is that I'm continuing to learn more all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can do that here.
Yes.
It's a lot for sure. So another of your passions that I want to talk about is UT athletics.
Oh, yes.
And the Lady Longhorns.
Mhm.
Can you talk a little bit about how you all got engaged there and how you're involved?
Absolutely. So you did mention that I did my undergrad at OU. So
I had no idea.
Yeah. So that that was a huge contention point for my wife, who is native Austinite and went to UT, played in Longhorn band, and has been a huge supporter of UT athletics her entire life. And so when we got together, I gradually started moving over more and more into supporting UT. But I did do my undergrad, my master's at the LBJ School. And so I'm an official Longhorn.
Yes.
And so I wear my horns proudly now, which I'm all excited about. But she has been going to women. I think she's maintained her tickets for women's basketball since she was in college.
Oh,
so since
wow.
the 80s, she's done this. And we've been together, oh gosh, we just had our 29th anniversary. So I've been going to women's basketball games for, 29 years now. That's something that we did early in our, relationship, and we've maintained our tickets there. So we're season ticket holders, and we just love supporting women's basketball. We also go to men's football, but we love our women's athletic opportunities to support these female athletes who work so hard and just don't get the recognition that they deserve. We had the opportunity to to go to the last two national championships for our women's volleyball team. So that's been, they're amazing, and it's so fun watching them win back-to-back natties. Our softball team is number one right now, and they're doing fabulous. So it's just we love the athletic aspect, but especially supporting the women athletes who don't get, I believe, and we believe, the recognition they deserve.
Well, and to put a finer point on it, again, it's more than the donation, and it's more than just showing up for games. You know these young women,
Yes.
and you really see where they are in life. And I know Lisa is on the board, and I'm not going to remember the name of it, but the
Texas One Fund.
One Fund, Texas One
Fund.
Fund. And that's really about, speaking, they don't get the recognition they deserve. And that is played out so clearly this last week as, we learn, she's Iowa.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark,
Yes.
base of what, 72,000.
Yeah.
It's just like
Huge.
It's mind blowing,
Yeah.
right? The disparities. But One Fund is really about helping the young women develop their brand, right, and develop kind of what their plan is and their footprint. And I love that. I love that there are the people there engaged with the young women to really think through how to, again, the plan, right? But how to plot out everything they have worked so hard for and how to take that into the future.
So, yeah.
And be intentional, because people have not been around female athletes like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Texas One Fund is for all athletes, and it's related to the NIL, so name, image,
Right.
likeness, and it's about assisting the students in having opportunities to use their name, image, likeness, and to receive some funding back for that effort. But our focus primarily, and Lisa's, is definitely working with the women athletes.
And women.
Yeah.
So you're involved in LifeWorks.
Yes.
Youth and young adults. You're involved with Youth Tea Athletics, and namely the women, young adults. So you've actually brought these two worlds together.
Yeah.
And can you talk about that a little bit?
Certainly. So one of my favorite activities at LifeWorks is our Home Improvement Challenge. And so,
You want to describe what that is? The audience may or may not know.
Oh, okay, yeah, certainly. So every year we at LifeWorks we select a handful of our clients who are living in our Works 1 and 2, and I think they go through a process of requesting or submitting their names, and then they're selected.
So
and
these
then
are
we do,
young people who have exited homelessness, and they have an apartment that we've helped them find, and we're providing some rental assistance. But it's a house, not necessarily a home yet.
Right.
So this is the
Absolutely.
point of the Home Improvement Challenge. They can apply for the opportunity for some decoration, some design, some more furniture. Often the teams go way over and beyond that. You see the pantry stocked, or pictures framed, or things like that.
Yeah. So this is an opportunity for the clients. I believe that we had about 8 to 10 clients last time. So we have teams that are set up, and that we go in and we meet with the clients in advance, and then we have one day to put it all together. So we get in there with our teams, and the client goes away, and then when they come back, there's a reveal, and they get to see what their new home looks like.
And often these
it's
clients
just fabulous.
have their own children, so
Yes,
they're
yes.
seeing their children's room put together in ways
Absolutely.
that they
Yeah.
hadn't thought would be possible.
Absolutely, yeah.
So.
So we had a great opportunity the last 2 years. We brought in our Texas basketball women, and the first year that they came in, they were runners. And so they were just assisting all of the other teams that were doing apartments during the Home Improvement Challenge Day, which is great, because carrying things up 3 flights of stairs for some of us is a little more difficult. These girls, it's
The
not
next
a
apartments will
problem.
have an elevator.
Yeah. It was not a problem at all for them. So it's like, hey, go help. But then after they saw what this whole thing was all about, and the reveals and the happiness that they brought to the clients, they wanted to sponsor their own apartment last year. And so they did sponsor their own apartment last year, and it was just wonderful. So we helped a client and her young son, and it was truly an amazing opportunity for the young women.
Well, and just had so much power for us. So our clients who receive the home improvement makeovers, it is it's an experience they probably haven't had.
Sure.
Folks rallying around, really focused on creating the home environment. I always talk about it as making a house into a home.
Mm-hmm.
And these are young people who may have been in 20 or 30 foster care placements and just moved and moved and moved. And this is their space, right? And it's one thing to have the space, but then to have the power of creating the space as your own. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's huge. So having that act of generosity, having, the Lady Longhorns show up to create your space is also huge. So, part of it is about stuff, but really it's about the experience of people caring and connecting, and that the age range is very similar to,
right.
is a vibe and an experience that we've never been able to create here. So it was just really just a fantastic partnership that adds tenfold to the whole experience, I think, for everybody. We have, because it's on one site, we've got many teams working, and the other teams are like, is that the basketball team?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
it adds in so many ways.
Well, and they want to come back. I mean, several of the athletes, we've had this conversation many times already. When do we get to do it again?
Yeah, I do hope they get out of whatever their workout is that day.
Oh,
it's,
yes.
It's a stair workout, let's just say.
Yes.
Stair and weights.
There you go.
Stair and weights. You're going to be board chair next year.
I am.
So what are you looking forward to next year?
Oh gosh, I think our year is going to be filled with lots of excitement. I see it kind of in two big hats. One is it's going to be a year change.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to be, Susan, you'll be stepping away.
Yeah, and I haven't talked on the podcast about
that.
I don't think I have. I might have.
Okay.
But for anybody who is not aware, so 29 years, founding and growing LifeWorks.
Yes.
I will be stepping down as CEO in July. And this is a really important moment for the organization.
Absolutely.
And you and Kyla Lee, who Kyla's been on the podcast, I think will be again next month. You all have just really come together, and I've never seen a more kind of powerful duo in plotting out the search, and we've made a lot of progress on the search.
We have.
And now you're turning to, okay, what do the dynamics of the transition look like?
Yeah.
So you're board chair in a very important year.
Yes, yeah. It's going to be a year change. I mean, having somebody come in when everybody's known you. I mean, this is they think of Susan as synonymous with LifeWorks, and but I think we've got a great opportunity to bring in a new CEO and to get that person involved, ground them, and surround everybody so that they can be successful in their mission. We've got some challenges with some of our funding streams that we know we're going to be looking forward, and some are going to be going away, but we've already had new ones coming in. And so that's just kind of like what happens in our lives here at LifeWorks is we do have change and we adapt. And that's what's so beautiful about this organization is that the staff understand adapting.
And the board too. People keep asking, "Oh, you're nervous to change?" And I'm like, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Our board is so strong. Our staff is so strong. We have a very strong culture related to change and adaptability. Yes. So you're right. It's kind of been the white noise of my career. Funding comes, it goes, and we've gotten very good about, and this is part of our data-driven approach too, knowing where we best need to serve the community and knowing kind of where resources might be positioned to help us get there. And I think one of the things that we're saying that I really love is it's like building on the legacy. We're going to build on the next person will build on the legacy, which is underneath that are like thoughts of like we could do a few things differently, or it is going to be good to get not to diminish me at all, but to get new ways of thinking in the seat too, and new leadership. So it's change always comes with challenges, but I think we're in a really good spot.
I think we're in a great spot, and I think that the staff here are, we've got an incredible team, and I think they're ready to take this on and to make it's going to be wonderful. And,
it is,
and we've got a great team to do that. And the other half of it, so I think that it's going to be a year of change, but it's also going to be a year of growth for us. Super excited about our capital campaign that's about to kick off for our Works 3 apartment complex, 120-bed unit that's going to help us make a dent in this issue of affordable housing that we've got here in Austin right now.
Very large home improvement challenge.
Yes.
When we open
yes.
that.
which actually we have been having conversations about that and getting the community engaged.
How do
and
we
involved
really
in
blow that out
yes,
when we open?
Absolutely. That one's going to be a lot of fun.
So that's so that's another thing for the next year. We'll break ground on the Works 3.
That's right.
120 units. That's that's a really big deal.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's huge.
Well, we're raising money to complete the capital funding for that, a service reserve, because we'll open in 2026 with a very large home improvement challenge. And, a service reserve that will help us make sure that every young person gets the support that they need. And then also in the campaign to raise endowment funding, so we have more sustainable funding.
Absolutely.
Because there are peaks and valleys with public funding, with donations. When you're in the middle of inflation context, you see ups and downs, and just to create more stability, predictability, make sure we can take care of our physical assets, make sure we can be innovative with our programs when we need funds to do that. Not lost on you that I'm like we in all of this, because I'm going to be around forever.
You've promised me you're not going away.
I'm not going away.
And I'm holding you to that promise.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So a lot to look forward to.
There's a lot to look forward to, and in addition to that, we're doing our Works 3, which is one piece of our mission with the housing, but the other huge part about it is we're taking on new initiatives like the pilot project that Courtney's team is working on right now with DA Garza. We need to get in front of this whole homelessness issue. Instead of, okay, let's provide housing once somebody is already without a home, what do we do to prevent that in the first place? And so I know that that's very exciting for us, is continuing to look at opportunities. How can we get in front of it from the very beginning? And I love the projects that we have already, and seeing more of that coming in the future.
So you're talking about the Travis County Transformation Project with DA Garza's office, the Amala Foundation, and the Excellence and Advancement Foundation, where we are working with young people who would otherwise be arrested for various offenses. And rather than entering the juvenile justice system, we do some respite at our shelter, some counseling. Our partners that I just mentioned do some case management and restorative justice. And at the end, we have a youth who has been diverted from juvenile justice, because we know what that pipeline can look like. We have a family that's staying together, so we've diverted from child welfare. So we know the chances of success for that young person and family are huge, and we know we have prevented a pipeline, a chain of events that will likely lead to homelessness as a young adult.
Absolutely.
And for as proud as we are and as hard as we have worked to build our housing capacity, it just feels so good to be involved in a systems level collaboration where we know we're preventing it.
Absolutely.
So under your leadership, we're gonna kind of keep going upstream with different things, and it's exciting.
Absolutely. It's very exciting.
It's exciting.
Lots of opportunity.
All right. I am going to conclude. I think our time is just about up. I'm going to conclude with a question that I always conclude with. And that's, thinking about our shared work and our shared mission. What's the legacy that you want to be part of creating?
I think, especially with what we're doing at LifeWorks, it gets back to our motto that we have, is that everybody deserves a life to live a life that they love. And if we can help people one individual at a time to have a beautiful life, how special is that? And so for me, being a part of this and making an impact and truly seeing people's lives being impacted is huge. Susan and I were at an event last night, and a young woman that we met who was sitting right behind us shared her story about how early in her life she and her family ended up being homeless. And it was through an organization in town that provided them some assistance. And she said, I never would have been where I am today had it not been for this organization. And she, through her company, had also done volunteer work with LifeWorks.
With the Home Improvement Challenge, actually.
And the Home Improvement Challenge. And it's just how powerful these stories can be. And it's changing individuals' lives. And that's what we do. And what better thing is there than that? So.
That's great. That's great. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Lisa, thank you.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much.
always a pleasure spending time with you
Yes.
and talking. And for those of you who are listening, I think our next episode is going to be with Kyla Lee. But until then, think about what you've heard from Lisa today, and not only the power of being deeply engaged in the community through philanthropy, but making it a family activity too.
Absolutely.
And a part of who you are as your family. So we'll sign off now. Thank you for joining, and have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Lives We Love podcast. For more information about LifeWorks and how you can help, please visit lifeworksaustin.org.